So, hi again. I'm so glad to be here. And I think this is going to be a favorite with you. I'm going to be talking today about overwhelmed by fatigue. I'm going to give you 5 strategies for moms who are overwhelmed by fatigue. And actually, I can give this to you because I did all these things wrong when I was raising my kids. And I learned the hard way. And I was fatigued all the time. And I'm like very blessed that something bad didn't come out of it, that I did never really completely cross over into adrenal fatigue, which we're not going to get into, but you probably know what I mean by that term. So being a mom is the most important thing that you could ever do with your life. And if you are doubting that and just feeling like you're not enough and feeling like a total failure in all that you're doing as a mom, know that it still is the most important thing you can do. And if you're saved and love Jesus, He loves that you're a mom and that you want to give the very best to your kids. And that doesn't mean that sometimes we don't fail. I was the biggest failure as a mom, and yet I know that that is what God wanted me to do. I actually quit my job working for the state of New York in order to be a mom that was full-time and then homeschool my kids. And I don't regret that decision, even though some of my kids are walking with the Lord and some aren't. When I was raising them, I would have never thought that they wouldn't have grown up to love the Lord. It just didn't cross my mind that that would ever happen. But I still know that in doing that, I did my best, and it's up to the Lord to do the rest. So let me go through some of these things. Every mom that I know of, even if they're a failure, their desire is to be the very best mom they could ever be. And some of the time, often, it's because of the way the child responds as they grow up, that even if you did the best and made the best choices for your kids decide that they didn't like the choices you made, and they wish that you did the other thing. I have 2 different kids. One likes the way they were raised, and the other one, it's not that they don't like the way they were raised, but they wish that they had these other things in their lives, and that child doesn't understand that some of the things I couldn't show up for was because I was exhausted, and that from just the other things I was doing with the other kids, or just the kids in general, and that I couldn't do with this and this and this one all these different things that all their bents wanted to do. I could guide them. I could point them in the best right direction possible. And beyond that, you have to consider yourself too. And you can't end up like as I'll show you this side, as an empty cup. This cup is half full. Okay? You can see I've already drunk it. So I can look at it 2 ways. That I have used up half of myself, or I can say I have a half full cup, and that look at that in a more positive way. Either way, I need to refill my cup in order to keep giving. And so sometimes in the middle of all the laundry and the children's laughter and their disagreements, the fatigue that creeps in, it's just something that you don't want. You didn't invite that into your life. And you end up feeling completely overwhelmed by all the things that you need to do, and of all the things you can't do, and of all the mistakes you're making. All of those things can make you totally overwhelmed and overwhelmed by fatigue. So, my dear mom, take heart, listen to this video, and hopefully the Lord will help me to share what's on my heart, and that you can be the heartbeat in your home for Jesus, and not just you doing it in your strength. I know that so many times that is probably what I was doing. So you can reclaim that energy. And if your kids are already grown, give yourself grace. Even looking back, give yourself grace and know you did the best. But as far as regaining your energy, that fatigue can still linger on into the years after your kids have grown. And there are some things that you can do to rekindle that flame, that desire to live, and that desire to give, and that desire to learn what you need to do personally to gain back your energy. So, we're going to first look at the causes of fatigue and identify and try to tackle them. Or I will try to give you what you need to tackle them in your life, because you're different than what I am. And what might work with me won't work with you. And I can only give you ideas from what my experiences are, and knowing that many, many women struggle with this. And I think sometimes it leaves us run down as we start on our journey as an empty nester, which I am now. And even like my cycles, when my kids were teenagers, my cycles were so bad. They were supposed to get better once you have children, and mine never did. And it just sapped me of my energy. And for like a week or two before my cycle started, then my tank was empty when I was going through the change. Otherwise, I didn't have that many problems, but the emotions were terrible, the upheaval of that. So I can help you the best I can. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is, are you skimping on your sleep? I did. I erroneously thought that if I got laundry in once the kids were in bed and even got it folded, it would help during the day. And if I corrected their schoolwork after they went to bed, it actually took me longer the later it got, but I thought it helped. I would do the money late at night and tackle that. I would tackle all kinds of things, planning the next homeschool day, all kinds of things. And then I would get up in the morning and make bread and prep the food for that day, and I was running on empty. And then when the kids were teenagers and I drove them 45 minutes to our church for band practice, they did brass band, and then they had soccer afterwards, I was exhausted coming home. I remember seeing the tree, not the car that had the accident, but I remember seeing the location where a mother had gone off the road. We have windy roads, and they're wooded. So she went off the road down a little bit into a little bit of a dip and hit a tree, and her daughter died. And it was because she was tired. And I can't tell you how many times that crossed my mind, and that as I was driving home with the kids in the car, saying, please talk to me, because I needed them to keep me awake. And I needed to go to bed earlier. You either go to bed earlier or you get up later, one or the other. And I couldn't get up later because the kids were up. It was just a difficult time of my life. And we had things going on that were difficult, very, very difficult. If you can identify the reasons why you're tired, like, is it because you're not getting sleep, or is it because you're doing too much? Is there anything you can cut back on? If you can finally sit down and figure out why you're so tired, you will know maybe some ways that you can solve that. What happens too when you don't get the right amount of sleep, your cortisol, which is one of your hormones, is up higher during the day, past the time it should be high. It naturally is high in the morning when you first wake up, but then it's still peaking. And then you have your cortisol is doing its thing at night even, and it's revved up. Then when you try to go to sleep, you can't. If you drink coffee past 10 or 11 in the morning, it can also make it very difficult to get to sleep way at night, even though it's hours before. And I am very sensitive to caffeine, and I can't drink it too late. If I drink it past 1 or 2, didn't drink coffee all those years, but you can find caffeine in an iced tea drink that you get. I would get one, drink it when I had to drive the kids somewhere, because hours later it would still help to keep me alert driving home. And so self-care is where you can start. The sleep and the self-care is another second thing, which sleep is part of. You deserve it. I'm going to say that again. You deserve it. You have to take care of yourself. Even if it's for 5 minutes, I don't mean like some of these moms where they're doing self-care all day long, every day. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about neglecting your kids, which I'm sure you're not doing. Um, One of the things I do is Bible journaling. I do art in a notebook or in my Bible a little bit every day. Today I didn't have as much time because we had a snowstorm. I knew I'd have to carve out time to shovel the deck. And so I only drew it in. I didn't color it yet. And but even that little bit of time is time that I'm taking for myself. Coloring, drawing calms you down. It relaxes you and makes you feel good about what you did when you're done. It helps you to focus on the Lord. It's just a wonderful thing to be doing. So that is one idea. You might read a book, you might take a walk. Walking your dog is a wonderful way. I do that often. Not in the winter. It's either too cold for my liking, or it's just like too much deep snow out there, or the snow gets icy so you can't even walk on it. But there are ways. I work out every day so that helps with, that's time for myself. And when my kids are growing up, I'd make them do it with me, but to be honest, most of the time I could do it myself because they didn't want to be with me. They didn't want to be doing it. So yes, just do it. Just do something for yourself. And it doesn't have to be time going out by yourself. I did it right at home for many years, just a little bit. So just choose one self-care activity and make it non-negotiable with yourself. Write it into your daily routine, into your planner, whatever you do to plan your day, or even if it's planned in your head. Okay, here's some energy boosting ideas. This is the number 3. Find your spark. Your energy levels are hugely influenced by what you eat, what you drink, and what you do. Okay, I work out. That boosts my energy. Even though you'd think it'd make you tired, it actually boosts your energy, especially after you become used to doing it. I try to eat healthy. Like, I haven't eaten lunch today yet, but I made oat pancakes, which is just basically oats and the egg, a banana, and baking powder, and a few things like that. That salt, but basically the banana and the oats and the egg. And that boosts my energy, fills me up. I don't see myself gaining weight because of it. Yesterday, I had an apple with some almond butter on the apples, or just stick the apples in. I sometimes will have a salad in the middle of the afternoon, and I make supper, and I don't pull something out of the freezer that I didn't make. And eating healthy is huge. In the summer, I make a smoothie with a protein powder in it, with fruit and a banana and that sort of thing. That's just too cold in the winter. And so those are things to do. And if you do a 10-minute short cardio, 10-15-minute cardio workout in your living room, right at home, you will boost your energy, especially if you do it mid-afternoon. What is really good for you is if you do one here and one there, just short 5-10 minutes, and that really helps. I have an online on-demand library of videos for working out, and some of them are short. You can do one of those. The number 4 is sleep strategies. Cherish restful nights. I talked about this and touched on it earlier, and quality sleep is so important. It's something that many women struggle with as they age, or even from the time they're a young girl. I struggled with it from the time I was 6 or 7 or 8. I had took a long time getting to sleep. So important. Many nights where it took me hours to get to sleep, and I'm sure it was the cortisol, doing the wrong things at the wrong times, maybe not the right kind of diet. There are things that you can do to solve your sleeping issues, or at least help it. You can get a adaptogenic coffee type of drink that helps you with your sleep. It helps you with the energy during the day, and then you sleep at night. Cutting back on coffee. Many women drink coffee. I didn't for many years. I do sometimes now. And it's only like a half a cup, to tell you the truth. That is not enough to have issues with my sleep. Maybe some people are. So you have to find out what works for you. I was somebody who burned the candle at both ends of the stick. That wasn't healthy. And I am correcting it now. I go to bed instead of any time after midnight being my bedtime. My bedtime now is 10:30 at the latest. It's rare when I stay up past that. And that's because I like getting up early. And I probably still don't get enough hours of sleep, but it's better than 4 to 6 hours every night. Number 5 is overwhelmed due to fatigue. Reach out to your friends, fellow moms, other moms who understand what you're going through. That are at the same season of life, either raising their kids or having teenagers, or empty nesters still find themselves in the same boat. We fill our lives with other things. I just want to encourage you. The next time you feel like you're the only one who's dealing with fatigue, to text a friend, meet for coffee, and just chat, and you'll find out there are others just like you that are struggling with similar things. None of us are alone in this. And just know that you are doing an amazing job. You can contact me and ask what my opinions are and how I can help you or pray for you. And just listening to the videos that are in this course will be so helpful for you, because I'm sharing these different topics out of the things I've struggled with, that most women have struggled with to one degree or another. So keep fighting the good fight. Keep asking the Lord to help you with these things. Don't do it alone without the Lord's help. Don't do it in your own strength. He will give you the strength. And appreciate that you are appreciated. Your family loves you more than you realize. And God can help you with those times of the month or days when you're struggling because you feel out of sorts and you don't feel like your love tank is full. You feel like half empty and you don't have much to give. Then stop and take some self-care time as soon as you are able to carve it out. And it will help you so much. Don't forget to spend your time reading your Bible every day, every morning before you really get started. And I do work out first, so I fully wake up, but I read my Bible. Actually, when my kids were growing up, I read my Bible before working out, because otherwise it just might not happen. So, are you feeling encouraged? Has this helped you at all today? And just encourage another mom that might need the same thing to join this course, because there's so much in here. I have put so much time and energy into this course. It's not perfect, but I know it will help people and help other moms, and I uplift them, and I want to uplift you, and I hope I've left you a little bit more uplifted than before you started listening to this today. So this is the last, this module. The next time, the module is going to be kind of one that I think will really benefit for you and bless you. I'm kind of excited about it. So take a look to see what the next module is. And have a nice day.